You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
I know they say you're never in trouble till you lose at home, but oh boy, let's get into it with the lead. The show comes to you live from the Sports Closet studio. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger, you'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. The show is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app, use the code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Our YouTube chat is brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Find one by going to liquorconnect.com, typing in Odd Company Nation Beer, and finding a liquor store near you, or go direct to the source. 2 locations in Edmonton for our friends at Odd Company. Delicious pizza at the Richie spot. Go get yourself a big old pepperoni pizza and a big old pint of Nation beer on tap. That would probably make me feel better.
That'll do it. Well, what do you guys want to talk about today?
Happy birthday, Liam!
Happy birthday, Liam!
Oilers took a shit on your pillow for your birthday. Yeah,
that was nice of them for me to wake up to. Nice, pleasant conversation today, I'm sure we'll have. Level-headed, not allowed to talk good about certain players, apparently, in the chat. Which, I mean, to be fair, they probably don't even deserve it, but...
No, as you can see, the shit list behind me, every Oiler except McDavid, still harmonicas.
Yeah, do you know what it was? Actually, a dagger yesterday, and I get it, because they it's a national broadcast. But hearing Gene ask we'll call it the leader of the harmonica gang, to say "Go Kings, go," didn't love that. That was a tough one to swallow. Yeah, I get it. But it's tough for those guys. They got to do what they got to do. But a lot went wrong yesterday. Can't wait to break it down.
In positive news, I made this. So everybody can enjoy that for a little bit.
That is funny.
I'll give you another day. You know, look at those photos.
Okay,
look at the top left.
Yeah,
look how young he is.
You were, and like again, you were working here too. Like you look like a baby.
Yeah, the mustache has really changed me.
It really has. I'm gonna rank them.
Okay, that's me with the Mona Lisa.
Oh,
that's quite a funny
Didn't
one.
Quite get it.
What about subtly thrown in there?
Bottom right. What are we doing there?
I was eating cheesecake. Here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's at our office.
Or golf sim. That might be a golf sim.
Oh, that is golf sim. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know your life better than you do.
I'm gonna go number 1. You cheering.
Yeah, that was when we were on the nation vacation.
Yeah, I like that one. 1, you cheering. 2, Banjo Guy Hat. 3, Devon Shore. 4, Baby Liam. 5, Liam Banana. 6, Charlie Brown. 7, Mona Lisa. 8, Cheesecake.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's a good ranking.
The one in the top left, we were talking about this before the show. I used to host a show called, I think it was called the Nation Network Prospect Show or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think I did it for 2 years. I had some great guests.
Like the fact that we don't get any former or any current players on the show. And you had who?
I had Wyatt Johnson on the show, Dylan Gunther, Xavier Borgo,
Sebastian Kosa,
Logan
Mailloux.
Logan Mailloux, yeah. I had to get that one down. Colton Dock. I also had Corson Coolemans, who went first round to Columbus. The one other player I had, his name's Shea Bayumi, who is Zev Bayumi's brother. I had him on the show.
Zev Buyum?
Buyum is that his name? Sorry. I had Shea. They're from San Diego.
Just a little outside on that one.
So they're still out there. You can find them. Didn't have a mustache in any of them. Wyatt Johnson used to be a runner as well.
Interesting.
Oh, my. Here we go.
Oh, we got you a cupcake.
Thank you, Aaron.
All right.
That's very nice. One wish. I wonder what it will be. It's for a cat.
29 years young.
29 still, hey?
29.
All right. We are not going to do the scoring summary first.
Good call. Let's just not do it.
We're going to do a new segment brought to you by our friends at Tourism Jasper. This summer, find your happy place in Jasper. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire, happiness finds you here in Jasper. It's open, it's vibrant, it's ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable memories. Drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink. Folding Mountain Brewing Company. That one is my favorite. Maybe even stay up late. Your best summer memories aren't behind you. They're waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Plan your trip, jasper.travel/summer. This is called Reasons to be Optimistic. So let's go. Number one, you're never in trouble till you lose at home. If the Oilers were to go, and hear me out, if they win both their games at home, then that guarantees this thing's going at least to 6. That puts this back at a best of 3. That sounds good to me. You just have to win your games at home. Reason number one to be optimistic.
I would like to back that up.
Okay.
3 of your next 4 games are at home.
Decent point. If you take care of business at home, again, you will have a chance to go out on the road, stun them. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Win your home games, and this series is going deep.
It's going
Nothing
6.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Ready for reason number 2? The LA Kings on home ice this season, and we'll even include the playoffs in this, are now 33-10 straight up.
Damn.
That's good. The LA Kings on the road this season, 17-24. That's terrible.
You really need to show up one time on the road the rest of this series.
Yep.
Take care of your own business and show up once on the road.
The Edmonton Oilers this season, 25 home wins, only 23 road wins. Reason to be optimistic. And perhaps this one is maybe the most important. Nothing this Oilers team ever does makes a lick of fucking sense. Why did they go down 3-0 to the Florida Panthers? I don't know. They came back, forced a Game 7, and then their offense magically disappeared for that Game 7 after scoring, 16 goals in 3 games against the Panthers?
Yeah, against a goalie that looked like he could never be beaten again in Bobrovsky.
Didn't make a lick of sense.
No.
Why did Stuart Skinner suddenly outduel Jake Ottinger in the Western Conference Finals?
Who knows?
Doesn't quite make sense.
But he did.
He did.
Calvin Pickard came in and stole a game for you. That wasn't supposed to happen against Vancouver.
Yeah.
It did.
Honestly, nothing that this team ever does makes any sense whatsoever. So with that being the case, I wore my Hope Will Never Die sweater for the first time since last Stanley Cup final. Yeah. I did not wear it once over the summer. I did not wear it once during the regular season. You can go back, watch the shows, watch the lead breakdown. I seriously don't think I've worn it in 10 months. There's a reason it's our mantra, and it's because nothing ever makes sense in Edmonton.
No, it doesn't. But that's why we're all here for the ride.
I guess.
It's just what they are. And I think another reason to be optimistic too, and understand the frustration with Skinner, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But surely they all can't play bad again, right?
Right?
Like, that's the thing. Like, and we'll go through it, but like, you look at the plays that they were making last night, they weren't even making the Kings like work that hard to score goals. The Kings were just getting great openings, taking opportunities when they came to them, and very opportunistic team. The Oilers didn't create those opportunities for themselves. I think being back on home ice is going to be pivotal. Being down 2-0, you're in a hole. There is no doubt about it. There's no sugarcoating it or glazing, as many people like to say in the chat. No glazing over this. But you can get out of it because you still have great players on this team who've just not shown up. Knoblauch, the frustration, I get it. He's not exactly had a great first 2 games.
Yeah.
But he has shown an ability to turn this team around and push them in the right direction too. So I'm staying optimistic. Looked at what hotels look like in Jasper as well for the couple of weekends from now. We'll see.
Well, we'll see.
But for now, they're all refundable deposits.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man. Listen, remember when Mike Smith gave up 3 goals on 10 shots to the Calgary Flames in Game 1 of the BOA? We relived this series on Oilersnation Radio recently, and it was like, well, I think the Flames are going to have our number here. And then the Oilers just won 4 straight games, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch. And Mike Smith went 970, 906 the next 2 games after that. Sometimes things just don't make sense. And again, if you're sitting here and you're worrying about how are they going to even win Game 5 in LA, if it gets to games... Just one game at a time, this thing. Just what if you would have told an Oilers fan when they were down 3-0 to the Florida Panthers that, hey, by the way, this series is going 7, they would have called you insane. And I remember that because I saw all of you in the chat and we did this conversation in the Cup final. And listen, if you would have told an Oilers fan, I remember doing the Sherwood Ford Giant pregame show with Frank during the BOA. After game one, Frank sat in between me and Jay, and he said, if any team has the ability to make this a short series, it's the Calgary Flames. If Edmonton wins, get ready for the long haul. And the Oilers turned it around 1-5. Like, again, sometimes doesn't make sense. And Chell, I know you're in the chat, and you're just dying to be a bummer today. And I get it. You want us, copium, blah, 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 blah. You want me to just sit here and be doom and gloom for an hour? I don't really want to do that. That sounds like a pretty miserable way to spend my 1 hour and my noon hour.
Yeah, we'd be pretty miserable people if we just bitched and moaned about this team every single day. I mean, look, this series isn't over. And if the Oilers do ultimately come out on the wrong side of this, I'm sure we'll have a really bad episode when we have to talk about how terrible they were. But
and listen,
they're not done yet.
No, they're not done yet. And that's just, again, I see a lot of people talking about the summer and blah, blah, blah. And right now, do I feel the most confident that this team's going to come back in the series? No, not really. It's a very tough hill to climb, and the goaltending is a major problem, and the blue line with no Matthias Ekholm is a major, major problem, and all of that, right? It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good right now. That game last night against the Kings, it flat out sucked. They also had a great first period. They also made that a 3-2 game. That one got ugly, but it didn't get ugly till the final 10 minutes. They were in that hockey game in the first 50 minutes. Yeah, someone says, what a bunch of homers you are. Yeah, no shit. The show's called the Oilersnation Everyday. What do you want? What do you want me to do?
I've had enough of that person, actually.
Yeah, they're gone?
Goodbye forever.
See ya. On that note, Liam, one of the things that I think we do really well is we can walk that line of being the optimistic hardcore fans, and we can also sit there and call out the garbage when we need to call out the garbage. And I think last night, the effort that we saw, let me just wrap up this Tourism Jasper part and all the optimism. I'm not willing to say they are done yet. I'm willing to believe there's just a little bit of magic left in this old hockey team of ours. And damn it, they're very old. I'm not willing to give up my hope yet. But if they play and put forth the effort they did last night, they're getting swept.
I completely agree. One thing I will say, too, they were actually pretty good in the first period. Yeah. I thought they should have come out of that with at least a goal and deserved at least a goal.
Totally.
A terrible play on the penalty kill, whoever that was, new Yaremchuk, whoever you want to put the play on. But regardless of that, they were solid. And it took a really, really bad mistake from Darnell Nurse to make it a 2-0 game. And then all of a sudden, you just seemed like you were just chasing it way too much again. Yep. And that's the thing. They need to just find a way to get a lead. Mm-hmm. And then the Kings can't be as defensively... what's the word? They sit back on their defense.
You have to get a lead against them.
And then you force LA to adjust. And I just don't think the Oilers have done that enough so far in these two games. They did it for the third period, and they slaughtered them. They were all over them in that third period. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, it just didn't happen at the right times for them, and the mistakes came at pivotal moments, and they ultimately lost because of it. But again, it doesn't matter if you lose 10-0 or 1-0. You just lose a game and you move on.
Yeah.
Stats are really irrelevant in the playoffs. I couldn't care less what anyone's save percentage is or how many points someone has or whatever it may be. Did you win or did you lose? And the Oilers lost 2 games.
Correct. We're going to be joined. We're going to make a new friend today. Steve Peters is going to join us on the Star Mechanical guest line. He's the former video coach for the Arizona Coyotes. He does some video production breakdown work. Now he was also the video coach on the World Cup of Hockey Team North America, which I think is cool. I really want to ask him about that, but he's a good friend of our boys over at What Chaos, so we're excited to have him on the show in a little bit. He is a wicked, wicked smart hockey mind. But let's dig into what happened last night a little bit more. It's our scoring summary, and it's brought to you by Douglas Mattress. I sleep like a baby, even when the Oilers lose on my Douglas, and you can sleep as good as I do by visiting them online at douglas.ca/nation or visit them in their Edmonton store, now open in Manchester Square. It is comfortable. It's a firmer mattress than I'm used to, but now that I'm in my Douglas, and I've been in it now for 2 years, I can't go back to anything but my Douglas mattress, owned by more than 250,000 Canadians. It's one of the most popular brands in all of Canada. Shout out to Douglas Mattress. All right. The Oilers, again, probably deserved a better fate in that first period, but they were down 1-0 after 20 because their penalty kill stinks. And this LA power play has just found a way to absolutely eviscerate them. Credit to Bally Sports here on the highlight. LA in transition. This wasn't even like a nice setup or whatever. They just caught the Oilers straight up napping on the PK. It was the final 12 seconds of the power play, and Edmonton just fell asleep. Like, Matthias Janmark was stride for stride. Watch him. Are we going to see it here with Brandt Clark?
Should, yeah. Janmark
is right there and then just hits the brakes. Buddy, no one's covering him. Why do you hit the brakes there? Like, you can see the snow spraying up from Janmark just stopping. There's nothing wrong with you following that guy to the net. And again, I'm not Steve Peters. I'm not John Goyens. I'm not an expert in strategy like Bruce Kurlock. But I'm pretty sure there's nothing wrong with Janmark staying with his guy. And then even if Janmark, again, stick with Brandt Clark this whole way. Don't stop skating at the top of the circles. That's dumb as shit. Keep skating with him. And the worst case scenario, if you take away that pass, is Fogel's coming around the net, and then you can take away the pass to the point. Like, I get that Darnell Nurse also can't let this puck get through. It goes underneath his toes, basically. So, yeah, Nurse, if you're going to lay down, you have to seal the ice. That's the whole point of laying down, is to take away this easy tap-in. So, like, your feet can't be up like that. You need to basically slide on your side, not your stomach. But, like, this was a very, very frustrating goal because there were a whole bunch of problems with it. And, again, not one that you blame Stu on, although another argument would be, Stu, where did you think the puck was going to go other than to the guy in front? So... yeah. Could have used a big save. Could have used a smarter play by Janmark. Could have used better defense by Nurse. The point is they were down 1-0 after a good start to that hockey game.
I think sometimes too, they seem to play in a bit of fear of like, we don't want to go back on the penalty kill. Like, I feel like in that moment, you should be more than willing to wrap him up. Like, don't let him get to the net, or just like do something to prevent it. And someone put in the chat there, like, Kemper made that save minutes later. It's like, well, actually, Hyman's shot was on the ground. Clark's actually ended up elevating a little bit. But I just think that the defensemen have got to get there on that one. Like, how did he have a clear path to the net? It's just came way too easy for them again.
Totally. So they're down 1-0 after 20, and then it felt like that just broke them. They go the first 11 minutes of the second period without getting a single shot on net. Like, you just can't be that weak mentally. It cannot happen. I thought the start of that second period was just inexcusable. And again, part of this, I think, is on Kris Knoblauch. Not in, like, not having them prepared or whatever. But in that moment, you need to recognize who's going and who's not. Because you had a bunch of guys who just wanted to be passengers. And it bit the Oilers in the ass. Byfield makes it 2-0. Do we want to watch his Byfield goal? Like,
yes.
What in the sweet hell is Darnell Nurse doing? We're going to start with Nurse. Pause it right here somewhere. Okay. Nurse, in this moment, wants to jump up in the rush and is basically taking a chance, or is taking the gamble that the puck will somehow get past 3 LA Kings. That's just those are bad odds to play, Darnell. And then what does he do when that puck doesn't get by? He stands still. I know everyone wants to jump down Bouchard's throat, and honestly, he probably does need to attack the shooter at that point because the pass backdoor, as Dubnyk said on the postgame last night with Aaron, the backdoor pass was a decoy. It was totally a decoy. Bouchard needs to play this a lot better. Stuart Skinner maybe needs to play it a lot better. If you're going to sit there and be like, oh, my defenseman is doing everything he can to take away the pass, I need to get aggressive on the shooter. 6'4" goalie can't look that small between the pipes. And Byfield makes a great shot, but like, again, I'm not fully blaming Bouch, but he gets a portion of the blame pie here. Nurse is number one. His controller disconnects. He stands still and doesn't move his feet. Skinner is small between the pipes. Bouchard takes away the pass, which I think usually 9 times out of 10 is the right play, but right there, I'm not sure if it was. Very, very frustrating. Also, 2 of your forwards, including your centerman, are already out of the zone when that turnover happens. I get you want to play on the rush and everything like that, but like, again, Nurse just stands still. That's a mind-boggling play by him.
I think this was the backbreaker, to be honest.
and someone says you take the pass and hope your goalie makes a save. Again, 9 times out of 10, I think you do. So that's why I'm not that mad at Evan Bouchard on this one. But like, he's basically damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Because if he goes and takes Byfield and the pass gets across, I mean, maybe Darnell Nurse, who finally does get moving back, can get there in time to at least make it a contested shot. And you don't want to give a guy an uncontested shot. I'm just saying everyone messed up on this goal.
I think too, like the play that Byfield would have to make to get it to his forward isn't like that easy of a one either. It's a backhand pass.
Yeah.
And he would have to bring the puck back over. I don't know. Like, I think it was just played so poorly by Nurse in general, and that's where the whole thing breaks down. And yeah, Stu, maybe you want to save there, but like, again, like you've allowed the LA Kings just to walk in on you and have the easiest chance in the world to pick their spot, and they have so much time to do it.
So, Aaron, I don't know if we can just go back to this angle specifically. Yeah, that last angle. Like, even Nurse going and not playing this puck is like, he just basically assumed Leon Draisaitl would hammer it up the boards. Like, he has a play right there on that puck, and he chooses not to. It's just, I don't want to watch anymore. They're down 2-0. That goal is just stupid, and championship quality teams don't do dumb shit like that. Kuzmenko makes it 3-0 on the power play. Their penalty kill's got to figure it out. This is on Kris Knoblauch. You need to, in some way here, find a way to combat this power play for the LA Kings, because they are just dicing you up in every opportunity that they get. Look how small the Oilers diamond is there. It's crazy. And it's that small, and yet you still let a guy score from your blue paint.
Yeah, like pretty fortunate, bounced off the boards, obviously, to come right to Kuzmenko, but still, like, again, I think that's now the second goal, because Kuzmenko, he would have got the first one of the series too, where he's just behind the defenseman and just there in the same spot. And it's like, you haven't adjusted. You watch the Kings penalty kill in comparison to the Oilers, and it's way more aggressive. The Oilers have no space out there to do anything. It's just like, it's kind of free reign for them just to have a bit of a shooting gallery and put the puck wherever they want. And it's not good.
As they did back half of the second period in game 1, back half of the second period in game 2, they turn on the Jets. And they start hemming the Kings in for stretches, and they start looking better. And then John Klingberg makes an excellent pass to Leon Draisaitl. And I hated John Klingberg's game up to this point, but then he does that, and it's like, well, that's why you play him over Josh Brown, because he has the ability to make a play at some point. And again, even just the poise here to hold on for that extra second and see Leon go into the net, that was beautiful. I loved this goal. The big guns, that line right there, those 3 guys you see in your frame, when they were on the ice for most of their shifts, it looked like a power play. The second Kings goal notwithstanding, they dominated the Kings. And I think we're going to see a lot of this trio together, because I think Kris Knoblauch knows it's really the only way they're going to generate a meaningful amount of offense. So, yeah, I thought the top line was really, really good. Again, outside of that second Kings goal, this was a great pass by John Klingberg. It's 3-1 going into the third period, and you think, hey, I was saying on my couch, I'm like, get one in the first 10 minutes and you're alive here. They get one early, too.
Yeah, they got one very early. The lines are going to be in. We'll get into it.
We'll get into the lines later. Victor Arvidsson deflects home a point shot from Brett Kulak. Second game in a row, the line that on paper is the Oilers' fourth line finds a way to contribute a goal. And it's like, again, you can't even be that mad at the depth scoring that the team's getting, because, again, your fourth line's produced a goal for you in basically back-to-back games now. And a nice shot from the point. Again, put pucks on net, get chaotic in front of Kemper, like Dubnyk told us the other day. Get chaotic in front of Kemper, and you're going to find a way to get offense. So I liked everything about this. Like, Arvidsson had 2 guys focused on him in this moment. Like, awesome. 3-2, 16 minutes to go, and my mind, like it did in game 1, is all of a sudden going to win this thing in regulation. You are going to get another one, pedal to the floor. The Kings should be panicking. And we'll talk about Knoblauch's quote after the game, but like, just gift-wrapped LA, the lead right back, and you could tell it broke their spirit. Victor Arvidsson giveth, Victor Arvidsson taketh away. That pass was dumb. This pass was dumber. That's not even bad luck. That's not like the puck hot. That's just a lack of attention to what you're doing. Terrible. Like, the first pass was stupid by him, and then just missing that
panicked.
Puck. Yeah, he freaked out.
Yeah, it's just there was no composure. And he had a lot of time to, even after the first pass, like, kind of regroup and just be like, okay, let me just take this puck around the net, settle it down a little bit, and regroup here and go again. But yeah, they just blew it instantly. And ironically, it was a guy who scored, and you're passing it to the one guy on the LA Kings, who, even when we've beat them the last 3 years, has been the one that's been able to score on you in every single series. And again, like many of the other goals, he's allowed to walk in and just pick his spot on Stuart Skinner. And just a terrible, terrible play. There's not a lot of things to analyze on it because you can all see what's happening here. It's just like guys falling into each other, fanning on the puck, like just feeling very much like post-Four Nations Oilers, where everything they do is just ending up in the back of their net. I think McDavid might have even said that, or someone said it. Like every mistake is just going terribly wrong for them, and they gotta figure it out. And I think the best way to figure it out is just compose yourself. Like, you need to just play more relaxed in a way and not just, oh my goodness, my first pass didn't go through. I got to do it again. Like, they've just got to regroup, play like no one likes it, but they're obviously the oldest team in the league, which would make you believe they've been in these spots before. They don't play like it often enough.
No.
They haven't, I should say.
Whatever. The last two goals that happened are the last two goals that happened. Who cares? They lose 6-2 in this one. Eventually, Stu gets the pull. Yeah, just really, really frustrating. And just on Skinner, again, I do get, like, we went through all those goals, and there's not one of them that you would classify as being a weak goal. Like, they are all chances that the Oilers gift wrap the LA Kings in just A++ spots on the ice. And that's bad, and that's really, really frustrating to see. But the other thing I'll say is, and I've been a staunch defender of Stuart Skinner in the past, right? Even the best goalies are supposed to stop somewhere between 75 and 85% of the high danger looks that they face. Like, I'm just looking at the 5-on-5 high danger save percentages in the NHL. Bob's at 100, Markstrom's 940, Blackwood's 938, Gustafson's 920. It goes down to Hellebuck at 750, who would be close to the worst of the bunch, but it's a far cry from the 625 that Stuart Skinner is supporting. Now, I don't love the way Natural Stat Trick always counts their high danger looks.
Yeah, they're not very good.
Because they also have Darcy Kemper all the way down into 429, and it's like, no, he's made more big saves than that in this series.
I would actually strongly disagree, because I don't think the Oilers have had any good opportunities on him.
Yeah, I will say 5-on-5 wise, because I was thinking of the Draisaitl and Hyman looks on the power play. But yeah, if you're right, 5-on-5, maybe the Oilers haven't put enough good there. But only 7 high danger chances is what he faced.
Do we have that video, Aaron, I sent you? So last night, I went through the game, and I picked out high danger chances. I know Greg is on this a lot, too. I can't remember where he says go luck, but, like, they're more opinionated, I think, than people want to admit sometimes.
You're right.
But I went through, this is outside of the goals that were scored. These are the quality chances the Oilers had on Darcy Kemper yesterday. Okay. I think one of them that one kind of bobbled, but it was a good chance. Like,
short-handed, too.
Scoring opportunity for sure. By the way, I'm pretty sure there's only 4 of them. This one was on the power play. I think Tyler in the chat mentioned it too, of like, this is a save that Kemper made. Good save. That was the best chance the Oilers had that didn't go in, I would say. And then there is, I can't remember what they all were. This one caused a little bit of chaos. There you go. Bobbled it. Wasn't an easy save for him to make.
No one
in front, but like, you move the puck enough that he was given one. And I believe this is the last chance of the game. You might see the time there. 1 minute 21 left. Even that, it was just a high shot from the point.
Kemper doesn't handle well.
And he just doesn't handle it. And other than that, like, the Oilers just didn't do anything to make his life difficult. There was, maybe there's one more, I guess. This is the last one with 8:10 left in the period.
Already down 6-2.
Yeah, already down 6-2. Like, the Kings really don't give it up.
Yep.
That was honestly probably your best 5-on-5 scoring chance. The other one was a power play from Hyman. Like, we can't sit here and be like, I can't believe Stuart Skinner and the defense is doing this to us when the Oilers offense is giving you basically nothing yesterday.
It's a part of the problem, for sure.
A huge part of the problem. The identity of this team is supposed to be that they can score goals and how deep this group is and all that. And yet they can't even create chances against an LA Kings team who they should be able to get better chances against, and they're not doing it at all. Like, again, look at those 5 goals LA scored this. It was 5, 6, whatever it was. How many of them were just easy walking shots? Like, we can sit here and be like, damn, I wish Stu would have made that save. I wish the Oilers didn't turn the puck over into the slot and give him the easiest opportunity ever to shoot on Skinner.
Liam, I've got all the screenshots of everyone.
That would be awesome. Because all season, we've just blew in the face of being like, I can't believe Skinner's not making a save. How's this continue to happen? How does the team not recognize it for themselves to be like, Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure, Skinner was short in the net. That's the only one that is behind him again. It's offside in most sports. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't sit here and be like, Skinner is the only reason the others are losing this game. They should probably start Calvin Pickard next game. I would agree.
Have to.
They have to. They probably have to. You're right. But again, I just don't get it. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Like, I don't think the people who are saying Skinner's been bad are wrong.
No, and listen.
I mean, you've allowed 12 goals in 2 games.
Yeah.
It's hard to argue against it.
Stuart Skinner is, like, I get he's just not a goalie who's going to consistently steal you games, is what we've learned this season.
But he can do it.
I mean, he can do it to the same extent that, like, any competent NHL-ish level goalie you have has the ability to have good games, and like we just aren't seeing them from Skinner. Like Calvin Pickard can steal you a game; it's in there somewhere in him, right? Stuart Skinner's just not going to be that guy. He's not going to be the Hellebuck. He's not going to be whatever. So it's on the Oilers to have to play a system that limits the high danger looks.
Yeah,
and even like the Kempe goal, the last one, where he has a second and a half to 2 seconds to pick his spot, get momentum, take 2 strides, and rip that fucking thing.
Yeah.
When you showed me all the Oilers looks, this is the 6th goal. Even the 4th goal, I think, would be the same if you go back to. But like all this, how many times? God, it's just.
Let me raise your Byfield here as well. Let me give you that one.
If we did the same exercise here and just took the screenshot of when the shot was released on all those good looks that you counted for the Oilers, there's a king within 5 feet of every single Oiler that's shooting the puck. Never mind 5 feet, 3 feet.
A foot.
Like Evander Kane's last chance, he had like a stick on his shin pads and a stick in the lane he's got to think about, and then he has to worry about beating Kemper. Versus Kempe is just sitting there and stare. Like if you give a good player, Byfield and Kempe are very, very good players. If you give them a full clean lane to the net, looking at a goalie who is not an elite goalie, they're going to score.
Yeah. Like, I just like people being like, Skinner's not elite. Breaking news.
We know that.
We know that. Blue. Like, I know at the start of the season, I was heavy on him. I thought after the cup run, he was looking promising. He'd come into the league, had a really solid start to his career, but like, it's obviously just not gone that way.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they can do about it now. It is what it is. But they just need to play better in front of him. You can go back throughout the years. The Oilers haven't an elite goalie probably since Grant Fuhr. Whenever. It's been a long time.
Talbot in 2017 was elite.
Talbot, yeah, that's a way better one. But like Mike Smith still posted like a 920 because the system was pretty decent in front of him. Skinner a couple of years ago had a 914 on this team with a reasonably similar lineup. The core was still intact. It just shouldn't have changed so much.
It is crazy to look at Skinner's regular season numbers from the last couple of years.
He was good.
So good.
Yeah. I don't know. I just look at it and I just can't sit here like everyone else and be like, he needs to make this save, this save, this save every game when it's so clear and obvious that the defense is also not helping him as much as he's not helping them.
Yep.
And that is a major, major problem. Like, it's great that John Klingberg played great yesterday. I am actually happy he was able to pull it out. It's looking like the Oilers' problem defensively, having an extra guy, is gone. Maybe that's premature, but after one game. But it's also a really bad thing that a guy who missed the last 11 games of the season and didn't play for 14 months before that was your best defenseman yesterday and wasn't a liability.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, there you go. Whew.
Good stuff.
I didn't even get my notepad out.
No, you didn't even need it.
That was all from the heart.
Straight from the top of the dome. We're going to get to our guest line in a little bit here. Yeah, I told him 12:40, so we've got a few minutes. Oh, maybe. Okay, well, maybe we'll get to him in a couple seconds here. But let's just quickly, Liam, before we get to Steve Peters, do a Sherwood Ford Giant question for our friends out at Sherwood Ford. The Giant, shout out to the Nation Valet Service. Never visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. Check them out online, sherwoodford.ca. Also, check out our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine for all your summer hobby needs. Boating, fishing, ATV side-by-sides. They do it all from maintenance to maybe even getting yourself in a new one. What's your lineup Friday? What do you think? Like, the Skinners, you got to change something.
I think Henrik should come out.
He was dog shit yesterday, so that lines up.
He was bad yesterday. Frederick's an interesting one because he's clearly still hurt.
I also don't think, just to follow up on that point, if the Kings are going to go 11-7, Not that you're going to go 11-7, but you can just sit Henrique and just run McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge. And if you need to load up a bit, whatever. Like, I don't think you need it.
I'm putting Nuge or Jeff Skinner with McDavid though, and I'm moving Draisaitl down to his own line.
Yeah.
I think you've got to drive the offense a little bit more. It's been great that the fourth line has chipped in a little bit with a goal in game 1, goal in game 2. You need to spread out the offense. I really did think this was going to work better yesterday. It just didn't. They were also on the ice for a few goals against, and that's not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Mulek says Noah Philp in. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that in a little bit. That's going to be my one big take that I want to touch on a little bit later on the show. But yeah, obviously, super disappointing result last night. I also, there's a lot of these series that are 2-0, and I get, the numbers are, Gregor said it today, I think it's 12% of the time a team can come back from down 0-2.
Yeah.
Again,
still a chance.
You have Connor and Leon. I think that changes it a little bit for
87.7% they win. So, yeah.
Yeah, 12.25 or whatever it is. So, the odds are grossly not in their favor. They also haven't lost at home yet. Yeah. And the Kings are bad on the road, or below average on the road, I should say. They're elite at home, below average on the road. Take care of business Friday and Sunday, and we'll see how things go. All right, let's get out to the guest line. Star Mechanical, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company, one of Edmonton's largest locally owned and operated companies, and they've been doing it in the Edmonton area for more than 20 years. Shout out to our friends at Star Mechanical, residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency service. They do it all. I'm very excited for this one. Anyone who is a friend of DJ Bean and Pete Blackburn is a friend of ours. So we're excited to welcome Steve Peters to the show. Steve, how's it going?
Wow, that's a big introduction here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you having me on Oilers Nation and talk a little Oiler puck right now. It's a team, and I just want to say this before we even get started. There's still hope. Like I said, it's 2 games. Everybody pump the brakes a little bit. They're going to have to get better. They're going to get better in a lot of areas, but it ain't over yet.
Yeah, and that is what you're here to help us figure out, maybe, because you're a great analyst. But first, I want to start with your resume. Former Arizona Coyotes video coach. You were also a part of the World Cup of Hockey and Team North America, which means you had a chance to be on a coaching staff that had Connor McDavid. So I'm curious for you, when you think back to 2016 and the kind of player Connor McDavid was at that time and then in that tournament, and what he is now, what are some of the most impressive developments in Connor McDavid's game?
Yeah, it's interesting because Todd McClellan was the head coach of that team, so it was a lot of the Oilers staff there. So Connor was a huge piece of it. He was named captain right away, and his leadership was apparent immediately. And these are kids. I mean, these are when they're 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, and everything he did professionally. And what struck me the most about Connor McDavid was his ability and his strength in practices. Every drill he was first, every drill he was fast, every drill he did 100%, and he did right. It's easy to see why you follow the path along with Connor McDavid. Incredibly competitive, and you've seen that in Edmonton. Absolutely wants to win, but everything right about the game is what Connor McDavid does. He does things the right way as a pro at 19 and 20 years old. It was amazing to watch him well matured upon his years when he was with Team North America.
Let's talk about the current state of this Oilers team led by Connor McDavid. Down 0-2 to the LA Kings, but they haven't lost a game at home. Yeah. But you kind of said some things have to change. We'll go through a couple of different areas, but maybe just at 5-on-5 right now for this Oilers team, what's the biggest problem here? I'm sure it's going to come in the D zone because a lot of these Kings looks have been wide open. But if you were in that room and you were with Kris Knoblauch and you had a chance to speak to this Oilers team, what is the number one thing you'd be trying to fix at 5-on-5?
Yeah, it's obvious and it's apparent, and everybody here has talked about it already. It's their D zone coverage. And what happens with a team like Edmonton is you keep telling everybody in that locker room and everybody in the media, this is a fast team, this is an offensive team, this is a team that's going to win 6-5, but you got to defend first. And it's funny because I worked for Dave Tippett at Arizona for a really long time. I respect Dave Tippett. I think he's a really good coach, but Dave Tippett taught defense first. You defended in your zone first before you worried about trying to get plays on the offensive side of the puck. And right now for Edmonton, you can see it when they're in the defensive zone. It's such a drive and an inner. We got to get in the offensive side of the puck. We got to go. And you're seeing defensemen cheating and trying to get out of the zone early. You're seeing forwards leaving outside the blue line before the puck is gathered in, and you're puck chasing in the defensive zone. You got to lock it down. And unfortunately, they're playing an LA King team right now that's deep, that gets to the blue paint extremely well, and their chances are from the top of the circles and inside the hash marks. That's hard to defend. I know Skinner's taking a lot of heat, but you got to look at the way this team is defending. And make no mistake, and you guys have gone over it over and over and over again, the loss of Ekholm is major. You talk about Heiskanen being out of Dallas. It's a bigger loss to the Edmonton Oilers being without Ekholm and what he brings to this team and the minutes he eats and the important minutes he eats for this Edmonton Oilers team. And that's a huge loss. And they've got to shore up their defensive zone coverage. And that might mean moving the puck quicker, and it might be just throwing the puck out in the neutral zone, something that Edmonton doesn't like to do. They want to carry and possess the puck through the blue lines. Sometimes it's get the puck out and live another day. And I think it might have to change their mentality going into game 3.
On the other side, the special teams was such a big factor in this series last season, and the Oilers
Kings didn't score a power play goal, I don't think, last year in this series.
Yeah, well, the Oilers dominated them, and now their power play just seems so flat. Like, what has been the biggest difference in that department for them?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is the power play that one of the best in the world in the history of the game. Be honest, and they're just, and it started. You look at what Zach Hyman did a year ago, and the points he was getting at this point in the series a year ago. He was one of the leading point getters for the Edmonton Oilers through to a season ago. And I don't know if he's got that jam, that little extra drive, that goal scoring drive that you've seen from him net front. There's just something missing there. And one other thing on their power play, and people aren't going to like to hear this either. And you saw it in game 2 against the LA Kings. Is Draisaitl starting to look tired? And I thought for the second half of the game last night, on some of his back checks, you saw his head drop down, and you could see, oh my gosh, he's like, dude, he's a lot of minutes. Like, he's 4th in the NHL in regular season. They had 3 and 4. McDavid and Draisaitl were 3 and 4, and they're playing an egregious amount of minutes here in the playoffs because you have to. I get it, but they're getting tired. And when you're tired, you make different decisions and you execute a little bit differently. And I'm concerned as the series wears on, if these two of the only players that are going to get them through to round 2 are Draisaitl and McDavid. But as you continue to ride them and wear on them, are they going to be up to their best performance to help you in things like the power play?
It seems like it would make more sense than just to split those two guys up, right? Like, obviously in game 1, they went to it more towards the end, and yesterday they went to it the whole game. Like, spreading them out seems to be a bit more of a recipe for success.
I think you have to. And I think they're going to have to start game 3. And the biggest reason why is when you look at the LA Kings and their depth through their 4 lines, at least their top 3 lines, they're all effective at creating offense. They can all get to the net. And something LA hasn't had as they faced Edmonton over the last few seasons is they didn't have this depth. You stopped Kempe and Kopitar, and you had a pretty good chance to beat this team. Byfield has taken a step forward this year. That second line with Fiala's been playing outstanding for this team. I think they're deeper, and I think that you have to if you're Edmonton. You're not getting secondary scoring throughout this lineup. You're not, and they haven't. So I think you're right. I do think, though, when you're Kris Knoblauch, is you look at this and you go, when we're not creating offense, our best opportunities to create offense and our best scoring chances are when they are both on the ice together. It just is. But I don't know if you can go to it too quickly. And I think you saw it in the comeback in game 1 when they were on the ice was tilted, but it was only when they were on the ice. And so what did you do? You kept putting them on the ice and putting them on the ice and putting them on the ice. And I understand that's great. And you can do that, and they're the best players and they give you the best opportunity to win. But you can't do that over and over again for 7 hockey games. You can't. You're going to wear those players out. It's a real tough spot he's in. You need him on the ice to score, but you also have to manage their minutes. And I know they can handle it. I know they can handle the load, but game 3, man, I agree. You have to spread it out. And I think you're going to have to stick with it for a while. As long as they can keep this within 1, maybe even 2 halfway through the game, I still think you have to stick with it. I think it's going to be really important.
I want to talk about the Oilers' penalty kill. I remember last year, obviously, throughout their run to the Cup final, they had that stretch where they killed off like 26, 27 in a row. They can't go 26, 27 seconds right now without giving the LA Kings a good scoring chance. But, Aaron, if maybe we could bring up the Kuzmenko goal, the 3-0 goal from yesterday. Is there any sort of adjustment that you think the Oilers need to make stylistically to try to combat this 5-forward unit for the LA Kings?
This is hard. And the biggest thing, this is the copycat league and everybody plays the same, but you know who doesn't put a forward behind the net in the National Hockey League? Nobody else. Like, it is really hard to defend something you haven't seen for 82 games. The Kuzmenko's play, first, that's a world-class pass. I mean, that pass through that seam to find Kuzmenko at that lower part of the net, that's incredible. That's almost impossible to make. I know I heard somebody giving a lot of pressure to Nurse, so you got to stop that. Hey, those are hard lanes to get in. I don't know if Edmonton's power penalty kill is as bad as the LA power play is good. One thing, it's funny, I used to work for Newell Brown, who's the power play coach of the LA Kings. This LA King power play was rotten in the regular season. They were 17th. They were worse than half of the other teams in the National Hockey League. Now they're third. They're 50%. Everything they do, because they changed and they did think outside the box, and they did make it more difficult, because everybody knows you put a diamond, you defend the 1-3-1, you protect the bumper, everything's fine. Well, the guy, when Kuzmenko goes behind the net, you get lost. And I think that's something that the Edmonton Oilers may have to change in their style of penalty kill. You might have to go to a box. You might have to bring two defensemen down lower, closer to the goal line, so you're not giving up those tight goal line plays. I think it's a big deal. And most importantly, stay out of the box. If you're going to give up goals like this, you got to walk that fine line, because you want to be physical. You want to be tough. You want to be a team that can not back down from the physical altercations, but you can't get in the box. You've proven you can't go in the box. So I think it's going to be a fine line in game 3, and I do think the home crowd is going to help this Oiler crowd or Oiler team.
Yeah.
And it usually does, too. And the Kings also aren't as good on the road, which another thing that might present I'm just more curious to see how Jim Hiller, who's really impressed me in this series, how he's going to handle this. But like, he played Hellenius and Malott, who were his 10th and 11th forwards, because he only dressed 11. He played them 350 and 550 last game. And that's actually an uptick, I think, in both their minutes from game 1. Like, do you think LA, and that's part of the reasons I'm trying to hold on to some amount of optimism for this Oilers team, is like, can LA keep being successful? Like, are their 3 lines actually that good that they can truly be a 3-line hockey team?
Their 3 lines are good, and they're good offensively. You can't do it for 7 games. And that's why it's really important that Edmonton gets on the board and get on the positive side of this series, because I think the longer it does stretch, you go to bet last year's Stanley Cup Finals. Both teams are playing 4 lines. And granted, your top guys are getting more minutes, obviously, but your bottom 6 are integral in getting you all the way through to climb that mountain. You have to. You can't win the Stanley Cup with 3 lines. You can't. It's just incredibly difficult. And through the laws of attrition, somebody's going to get hurt at some point along this stretch. So for the Edmonton Oilers now, you get an opportunity to match lines, which I think is going to be a key. And you talked about splitting up Draisaitl and McDavid. Again, it makes it more difficult to defend, especially when you have last change, that you have to try to defend both of them. And I do think that's going to put LA in a little bit different spot. I think that gives advantage Edmonton as they come home, the ability to keep them away. I mean, Byfield's seen a whole lot of McDavid. The top pair has seen McDavid. If you can get McDavid out there, I mean, we love Warren Fogle, and I think he's a really good player, but let's get him out there against those guys a little bit more often. I think it will help the Edmonton on their offense.
There's something weird that happens on the Oilers penalty kill a lot, and I think it bugs a lot of people. Darnell Nurse loves to go down on one knee and like lay flat across the ice and all this stuff. Like, I guess my question is like, why would that be a strategy?
And
I guess.
When is it good? When is it bad?
When is it good? When is it bad?
It's really hard because, again, you've got to go to different coaching styles. And I think of Rick Tocchet, and Rick Tocchet we had in Arizona for a long time. Rick Tocchet was firmly against, he called it long body, where you laid on the ice. He felt you weren't able to make adjustments. You weren't able to move your feet. Clearly, we saw when Doughty went down long body against McDavid, he ate him up. I don't think it makes you as effective. And the other problem is, if you're going down, you better stop that pass. Like, it better be 100% of the time you're stopping that pass. And I think with Nurse, we're seeing too many pucks get through him, and he's not making that stop. And once you're down there, you can no longer move. The problem with going down long body, especially on the penalty kill, is today's power play players are too good. They move the puck too good. They're too quick with their feet and too quick with their puck. And I think they can alleviate the pressure and get around that, or get through that player that's playing the long body. I don't like the player going down unless you absolutely have to. Think of 80s goaltending with the 2-pad stack. If you absolutely have to, okay. You're defending a 2-on-1 on a rush, and you've got to bail out. Okay. But I don't think it can be your strategy all the time on the penalty kill that you're going long body and trying to get down and trying to block that pass. I do agree that you need to get the stick down in the lane. I do agree with getting your arm down and trying to take away that pass with the stick. But you saw Darnell Nurse, especially on that 5-2 goal yesterday, getting down, and he's just not effective. Like, he when he gets down to that one knee, he can't pressure the puck. I'd rather have him go at the puck carrier in that corner that's locked in at the dot with his stick pointing out. Go at him. If you're just going to stand there on one knee, if I'm the player that has the puck, that's easy. You can't move. You can't go anywhere. You can only go as far as your stick can go. So I'd like to see him stand up, and I'd like to see him go stick on puck towards that power play player and be a little bit more aggressive. I don't want him chasing any farther than the dot, but I want him to have the freedom to get a stick out in the lane and go towards that player instead of going down on one knee and just being passive.
If I set the over-under for total games in this series at 5.5, would you take the over or the under? Do you think Edmonton has the fight in them, or are they just too exhausted from everything that's gone on the last 10 months?
I harken back to a year ago, and Skinner gave up 9 goals in the first 2 games, and then he gave up 1 over the next 2. Don't give up on the Oilers team yet. I don't want to hang this all on Skinner because it's clearly not a goaltender problem. If he can be solid, and you go around any of the playoff series right now, goalies in this league right now are making 5 alarm bell saves across the league. Like, oh my gosh, what a save. They need that from Skinner. And they don't need him to be okay and making most of the saves. And yeah, he could have had that one, or maybe no, he needs to be elite. And if he can do that at home, and I do think they're going to get a boost at home, and I think they're going to find their offense at home, and I think it's going to be one of those games where McDavid goes off. I just got that feeling. If it's 2-1 after tomorrow night, this is going to go at least 6. I think Edmonton is good enough to get it to 7. I'm just worried that LA right now has got that mojo. They've got that feeling. They've got that, hey, everything we're doing is working. And I think them winning game 1 and the way they won game 1 is really helped them propel them into Edmonton, the opposite. The feeling in a room carries you a long way in the playoffs. And when you come back from that and that elation that you saw with Connor McDavid after he scored and they tied the game and, oh my gosh, we're going to win this game, to, a minute later, we're losing. And you're sitting in the room going, what the hell just happened? That's defeating. That's really, really hard to battle back from. So I think they need a reset coming home. And this game, it's must win. I mean, you got to win the next game at home to try to extend this to 6.
Yeah, season's absolutely on the line tomorrow night. You are excellent. I've appreciated and enjoyed your analysis on What Chaos, and I'm very happy you joined us today. Thanks for doing this, Steve.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you guys for having me so much. And I just want to say that it's so much fun to talk about hockey. And I know you guys are trying to stay positive. Go Oilers. Like, I still think there's gas in the tank, and I still think they got a chance.
You are the man. At S Peters Hockey on Twitter is where people can find you. We're going to do this again soon.
I can't wait. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Steve Peters, former video coach for the Arizona Coyotes. He's been around the hockey world a lot.
There you go.
Give us a good breakdown.
Yeah, that was good.
Pop in, nice casual 28 minutes on the Edmonton Oilers. Why not?
That was 20 minutes.
Yeah, our show just flew by because of Steve. So big shout out to our guy, Steve. Everyone go follow him on Twitter. We'll throw the link in the chat and everything. While Steve was on, we got a super chat.
Did we ever?
From a usual suspect. Our boy Cup Year dropped in another $139.99. That is something, man. He said the Oilers will play at Rogers and realize who they got to play for. Oil Country won't let them down. I'm going to keep screaming Cup Year for as long as I can. So that's $140 going to the Ben Stelter Foundation. Appreciate you as always, Cup Year. You do great stuff, and appreciate Steve Peters for joining us on the show. His appearance was also brought to you by our friends at the Garage Superstore. A new friend we've got on the show. Garage upgrades and accessories made easy. They've got everything you need to organize, transform, and maximize your space. And they even have 6 full-size garages over at their showroom. So you can walk through some real setups, storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, and storage racks. They got a whole bunch in store. Shop online or in store, garagesuperstore.ca. They're also located on the south side, 3407 Calgary Trail Northwest. Let's continue along, Liam. One big take, maybe? Because I got something to say.
Go on.
I got something to say. And it's a bigger picture thing, but it's our one big take brought to you by Service Credit Union. The Service Big Share Contest is back. It is in its final week. It's only on until April 30th, but it's your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. I think this team, whatever happens, needs to take a really, and this front office needs to take a really long, hard look in the mirror. And it's probably one that should have been taken 6 months ago when you saw Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg do what they're doing in St. Louis, but maybe even to an extent what Warren Fogel's doing in LA this year and all of that, and Ryan McLeod blossoming into a 20-plus goal scorer with the Buffalo Sabres. If you do not give young players opportunities, you are never going to know what you have in them. And sure, you can sit there and say, well, they called up Noah Philp and they called up Matt Savoy for stretches this season. But giving Matt Savoy 4 games while your team's scattered, looking for wins, and then pulling the plug on that experiment, not playing him, I believe, more than 15 minutes in any of those games. Giving Noah Philp, again, a handful of games this season, but in how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In 10 of Noah Philp's 15 games, he was under 10 minutes this year. You're just not giving young players a chance to actually learn. And if you watch down in Baco this year, They gave Matt Savoy and Noah Philp a whole bunch of penalty kill time, and they both were good penalty killers. And why you aren't willing to give those guys a legitimate chance, or weren't willing to give them a legitimate chance, where you say, you know what, you're just a part of this team. We like what you're doing in the minors. We're elevating you, and you're sticking. And we're going to put you with line mates. We're going to let you learn from your mistakes, get used to the speed, the tempo. Even a guy like Matt Savoy, who needs puck touches to kind of get comfortable in his game. You weren't playing him with guys where he can get puck touches. Like, not properly growing your young talent is just, it's going to keep killing this organization. Because you know what? If you had Philip Broberg locked in from Christmas last year, playing an everyday role on your team, probably sign him. If you have Dylan Holloway playing top 6 minutes from the jump last year and don't just pull the shoot every time he makes a mistake, you probably sign him. And you probably have two guys who are contributing this year. It's very, very frustrating that the leash can be so long for Matthias Janmark that he basically doesn't score a legitimate goal all year and stays in the lineup. Adam Henrique would go weeks without being noticeable, stays in the lineup. Connor Brown, same thing, stays in the lineup. And even this series, there's a fantastic case to be made that both Noah Philp and Matt Savoy should be playing on Friday night. It's not going to happen, though, because they haven't been playing with the NHL team for a month.
Yeah, there's definitely seems to be a fear of giving these guys opportunities. And I mean, I guess you can go on the other side of it and be like, well, they gave Skinner and Bouchard and all that, but like, it doesn't happen enough. And the players are there for them to go and do it for. And now the rumor was when Savoy went down that like the team was in such a bad spot, they didn't want him around. And like, I do kind of respect that, but to like not bring him back up at a different opportunity was just not good. And now we had to wait for Evander Kane to come back to find someone to play in the top 6. And he was whatever he was yesterday. Fine, I suppose. But I feel like Savoy could have given him an extra bit of a jump there. And his offensive skill set is honestly no shy of elite for me. I think he's going to be a special player one day. But it's like, why did you get him? You know, like I understand the first half of the season, even to when they called him up, to be honest. It's like, yeah, like it's good that you put him in Bakersfield. I think we can all agree that like he needed time there. He's a first-year pro. But the evidence shows that, like, hey, maybe you could have given this guy more of an opportunity when the team wasn't rolling and he proved that he can score goals. I really just wonder, you're right, like, when is this going to turn around? I'd be curious to know, and, like, maybe someone in the chat can give me an answer to this, too, like, what Bowman's approach was to the younger guys in Chicago. Like, I think of a guy like Nick Leddy, he gave him a good opportunity, right? And other guys like Andrew Shaw, Brandon Saad, they weren't first-round picks, and they were given an opportunity to go and play on those Stanley Cup winning teams in Chicago, and hopefully he can now bring that on to the team this offseason. Like, Bowman's has been in such an interesting spot because obviously he was here for the Holloway and Broberg stuff, but there was a lot of time before that when those guys could have been brought into the organization and signed here for a while. Obviously wasn't here for the actual free agency period of the season. So this summer, depending on what happens with the team, good or bad, like Bowman needs to put his stamp on this and be like, no, this is how we won games in Chicago so consistently and how we won all these Stanley Cups. And they need to bring that here because, like, not to put a pole dampener on the situation, but you still need to sign Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
And you need to prove that you can be this organization. And I don't know. And I do think ultimately McDavid will sign, not to go in that direction, but you need to figure this shit out.
Mm-hmm. Totally. All right, we do got to work towards the end of the show here at some point. Let's get to the menu, which is brought to you by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer.
Meet the Ninja Crispy Portable Cooking System, the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand.
It's an all-in-one system that includes 4-quart, 6-cup Tupperware glass containers and 2 storage lids. The Ninja Crispy is thermal shock resistant and can go from frozen to crispy in just minutes. With the Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. The 4-quart container fits 4 pounds of chicken or veggies. You can even cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6-cup container. Max Crisp, bake, air fry, re-crisp. You can prep, cook, store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. Visit their website with the link in our description and stay tuned because we're going to be giving away a Ninja Crispy to one of our lucky viewers. Tonight in the NHL, it is Game 3 of the Battle of Ontario. Sens in the same spot as the Oilers. The road team seeing the series shift back to their home barn. They need a win to save their season because if they're down 3-0, they are not coming back. Florida, Tampa. Florida up 1-0 in that series. Tampa man, you don't want to lose 2 on home ice because then you're real hooped. So
Yeah.
must win for Tampa, must win for Ottawa. Vegas, Minnesota, what an opportunity for Minnesota. Not a must win for either side, not willing to go that far, but like if you're Mini, the swagger you feel, if you're up 2-1 on Vegas going into game 4 in your own barn, look out. And Winnipeg, St. Louis, similar spot as Edmonton and Ottawa, must win tonight because you can't go down 3-0 then be like, well, we'll win a couple more games on the road and clot your hoop. So 3 must wins tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
We're going to see the impact of what home ice is tonight.
Agreed.
In all of these series. And I think hopefully on a positive side, it can turn out for a few of those teams and give us all a little bit of hope going into it. So I do think Toronto is playing the worst team in the playoffs, to be honest. So I don't put a lot of stock into their series. I know people are talking about Stolarz. Yes, obviously done well, but I'm not too worried about what Anthony Stolarz has been pulling off in Toronto.
When Anthony Stolarz was Stuart Skinner's age, he was sitting in the minors because no organization deemed him worthy of being an NHL goaltender. And I think that's an important lesson to always keep in the back of your mind.
That's the other thing, too, that I just struggle with. We talk about these young guys. Like, well, Bouchard and Skinner are young.
Yep.
They should be part of this
It just
franchise
sucks that
for a while. They
just
making mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's hurting the Oilers. But they've been put in this spot because they've played well in the past and they've earned the trust of the organization.
Yep.
They also need to earn it back.
Mm-hmm. Cam Talbot, when he was Stuart Skinner's age, was in his second year as an NHL backup in New York. Like, you can just go through the long line. Like, Stuart Skinner was rushed to the NHL and into the role he's in. I get he absolutely needs to be better, but I'm just like, again, I get so nervous about just throwing out these young guys because, again, it's so funny to watch the same people in our chat who are sitting there and going, miss Holloway, you miss Broberg, you miss McLeod, you miss Fogle. And it's like, what do you think you're going to be talking about in a year if you trade Skinner and Bouchard?
They're going to get older.
And they're going to get better. And the Oilers the Oilers are going to get older.
Team,
yeah.
Yes, they're bringing the age down.
Yeah.
Actually. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know. Such an interesting conundrum we're in, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think we'd be here in my 29th year.
Can you wait until we've been doing the show for 29 years?
I will be 29 plus 29.
You'd be 60 or 58.
If I'm not retired at, you say 60 or 58?
58.
You
won't be retired, buddy. You're working in sports media.
I might be.
You ever heard of Jim Matheson?
Yeah, it's a good point.
You work till you, yeah. Well. This was a weird show.
Wow, I think that was fair.
Wait, you just had a rant about playing young guys. Yeah, I did.
That was a good rant, Ty.
K. Ryan, you're out of here.
Oh, you kicking someone out?
Yeah, let's go
Hell
through
yeah.
the list here a little bit.
Got
Guys make the magic ride. We all okay. That one's fine.
Should we just start kicking out trolls to make us feel better?
Yeah, like I don't mind people being like, I'm bummed out. This guy sucks.
Yep.
I want this guy to be better. But when you come in here and be like, this team's never winning a series again, like yada yada yada, that's what irritates the crap out of me.
Yeah. And again, like, you need to play young players. You need to be okay with their mistakes. You need to be okay with Evan Bouchard's mistakes. You need to be okay with Stuart Skinner making mistakes, having rough stretches. Like, again, this is a guy who proved he can be a .915 save percentage goalie in the regular season. Like, he did that. We saw it with our own eyes last season.
Mm-hmm. You have to
it's patience with some players, and then there's some players people just want to have zero patience with whatsoever and throw them out to the wolves.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, I really, really do. But I also always like to remind people this. We have no control.
Oh, buddy.
We have no control of this. All we can do is show up to Greta, show up to Rogers Place, show up to your couch on a game day, and hope they win and cheer them on and try and be positive. It is hard. But if you don't, you're going to let this team rule your life. And that is a bad thing because you can't do anything about it.
Correct.
You guys have access to our DMs. I love when we get DMs to the main account that are like, think we're the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you got to call this guy up. I'm like, dude, can't do that.
Or people will be like, it's your fault. People will always do it. It's your fault the Oilers didn't upgrade their goaltending, idiot. And it's like, what?
I know.
Do you think Stan Bowman might know who I am?
I'll tell you something. He ain't calling.
But I don't think he might know who I am. He ain't heard one of my takes.
Papa Randy, Tyler, you need to bring out the romper. I was thinking about this. Not specifically the romper, but this is good. I'm gonna own up to something.
No bananas.
I've fallen out of touch with myself. I'm gonna go buy some bananas tomorrow. We're gonna have some on the show. We'll all have one. I'll bring enough.
Good.
Maybe two. We got to get back to our ways. Maybe you need the romper tomorrow. I know you got your hope will never die. That's big. Like, what have you been doing, fellow listener, to make this team win? Do you know what I'm going to wear tomorrow? What I wore for my Game 7 game when I went to Rogers Place, and I didn't wear an Oilers jersey.
Your white daily face-off hoodie
My
that you got
white
blood
daily
on last
face-off-
week?
Yeah, and knee shorts. Because that's what it's going
You've
to
owned
take.
those shorts for 4 years?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Look
They're
at you,
great
25 to
shorts.
29. You're still fitting in the same
I
shorts.
know.
That's my co-host.
Well, they're... That's what we got to do here, folks. We can't just sit here and bitch and complain if we're not going to do something about ourselves. And I know I just said we have no control, but we have control of ourselves.
Our
And
attitudes.
Exactly. And we need to be positive. So can I get a go Oilers go in the chat?
Can I get a cup? Yeah.
Go Oilers go. I did it. Well, let's hear from you, folks.
Wait. I did it.
There you
This
go.
looks the exact same. but I
Aaron,
did it.
get in there.
I'll get in there.
Reese, throw it in there.
Reese
No one
did
else has done it yet.
Hey, go watch the first episode of Ask Dubnik on the Oilers Nation YouTube. Reese did very good job editing it.
There
Good
we
job,
go.
Reese.
Mulick's in. Rusty's in. Jeff's in. Lance is in. Dexter's in. Rusty's in again. Jake is in. Everyone's in. Come on.
We're so back, Liam. You just single-handedly changed it.
Sweating.
All right. For our friends at Bet365, want to get in on the action for the Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365? They got you from game props, player props, totals, and money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, and even the Stanley Cup champion. Whatever you bet, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app, get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs must be 19 or older. What do you think the Oilers' Stanley Cup odds fell to?
Probably higher. Because you have to believe.
20-1.
There you go. Bet on it. $20. My birthday, $29. There we go. We're doing this. We're so back.
I like that we had a nice full circle amount. $29 would turn into $609.
I love what Southpaw just said. Liam started to wave in the chat. Feels like
We had a
something-
good vent sesh. Now we're back.
We're just fans. We're fanatics.
Okay, let's rip through these games
yeah.
tonight for Bet365.
Oh, yeah, good.
Tampa, Florida, who wins? Tampa.
Tampa.
Ottawa, Toronto.
Toronto. Sweep.
Vegas, Mini.
Mini, because I want them to.
Yeah, I hit the Golden
And I
Knights.
want Putney.
Winnipeg, St. Louis.
St. Louis, I win that one.
Fonte Mac, no matter
plus
what.
1,600 to parlay Liam's picks together on
yeah.
Bet365. I like the over in Tampa, Florida. I like Brady Tkachuk's shot prop tonight. Take him 5+. I think it's pretty juicy, like plus something. So take Brady Tkachuk shot prop, the over between Florida and Tampa. All right. Before we wrap up, what are you doing tonight? It's your birthday. What are your birthday plans?
Well, I got a bike. I got a bike for my birthday.
Yeah, shout out to your parents.
Shout out to mom and dad. Thanks for the bike. That's great. For those who I talked about the other day, I had a hand-me-down bike, which serves me very well. I
Yep.
don't want to sound like I'm not for this bike. I still ride it forever, to be honest. I wouldn't have bought myself a new bike. So I'll probably go for a ride. That'll be great. Yeah, not a lot. Family's coming over. I don't know. Birthdays are weird as you get to my age.
Yeah, you're very old.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm sure
Hey.
I'll watch the game with a few friends, and weekend I'm in Red Deer.
Scouting mission.
Yeah, gotta go down to Red Deer Saturday.
Interesting.
Alberta Cup.
Did the Detroit Lions have a first-round pick?
They do. Every single team in the NFL has a first
There
round
we go.
pick.
Really? No one traded their picks?
No,
No,
it's the first time ever.
wow,
this
that's
has
actually
happened.
crazy.
They're 28th, I think.
I really want to go golfing tonight, so I just keep like refreshing tee sheets throughout the show, being like, something gonna open up for me, but can't find anything decent. So that's a shame. It's so nice outside. I just want to be outside.
It does. It brings up my my spirits.
It does. I really want to go golfing. Anyways, okay, I think that's a wrap on today's edition of the show.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday, Liam. What a great montage.
Thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. That was nice. Thank you, Aaron, for the that.
Bearded Brad, Liam, you getting a paper route too?
I used to have a paper out. I
In Sherwood Park?
in Sherwood Park, yeah.
Where?
Lilac Lane was my neck of the woods. And one time I was doing it in flip-flops. And this is a girl story. I kicked a step and my toe exploded.
Gross.
All over someone's step. Just literally like kicked it, like not thinking, obviously. So you're going like full pedal to the metal. If you walk fast like me, which I don't, hit it, toe right from under the nail.
Ew.
Right onto the
Why did you have to tell us this?
It's his day.
People love my stories. And yeah, then I dropped off the mail and blood remained.
Very gross.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liam.
You're welcome.
One more shout out, one more ad for today. Our friends at Charm Diamond Centers. You can get a custom ring built and delivered in less than 4 weeks through the Charm Masterpiece program. You can also apply for a Charm Diamond Flexity card today and get approved for no interest financing on your purchase in minutes. Liam used them. I used them. We both got yeses when we popped the big question. So why wouldn't it work for you? CharmDiamondCenters.com. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. Tomorrow, Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day. Jay's going to be here. Jason Demers is going to be here as well.
That'll be exciting. He picked LA to win this series.
He did, and he was texting me yesterday. Not super high on the Oily boys as our boy JD, but we'll get something out of him tomorrow.
Fair enough.
All right. Thank you, everybody in the YouTube. That was great. Another big thank you to our friend Steve Peters, our new friend Steve Peters, for swinging by. He texted me, said he'd love to do it again. So we're going to have him on again throughout the playoffs because this shit ain't over yet.
Nope.
Gotta believe. Oil up, everybody. Have a good Thursday.